Hey everyone, it's Pup Twigs here from Orlando, Florida, and I've got joining me today as my guest is Pup Razor from Kaukauna, Wisconsin. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Just actually woke up not too long ago, but that's what coffee's here for, I guess.
You got that right. Yeah, it's always a good wake me up.
Exactly.
So, kind of want to go through, the first initial part is finding out about, the why you chose Razor as a name, and also curious about your pup hood. So, if you could give us a little bit of
Mm.
background on your hood and your name.
Oh, no worries. So for me, I got into pup play way back in kind of like the Tumblr days. So I just kind of like, scrolling through stuff and I was like, and then I saw people in pup play. It's like, oh, okay, that's something interesting. That's something different. And then just kind of like slowly got more into that. And then it's like, okay, so I kind of self-identify as a pup. What exactly would I want my name to be? And I was, kind of like even like still today, I was like, okay, there's a lot of like mythological figures, but also like a lot of like more traditional, I guess, regular pup names like Sparky or like, something like that. So
Mhm.
for me, I always wanted to be something a bit different. So that's why I kind of went with Razor. It's kind of a little bit more of like a kind of like an edgier side to me, I guess. Because like for me, when I grew up, I was, a very conservative family. Couldn't exactly like go out at all. In a very small town, so it's not really many people I could connect with that. So like once I kind of getting got more to kink, it was like, okay, I can like see myself as that. And it's like it's just more kind of like my alter ego of how I usually am. It's like I'm
Mhm.
allowed to express myself. So that's why I kind of picked with Razor. It's a little bit more edgy. And then for color wise, I know a lot of people, a lot of pups have been saying like their favorite colors are like the black and green. So that's why I went with that. And then I kind of switched it with more of like the black and neon green as well. So I went, and I kind of tend to be a bit clumsy too. So that's why I kind of went with the messy design from Rough Stuff. But to kind of go more along with being different, I don't know if it's like I'll get easier to tell, but I actually have piercings.
I saw that, yes.
So so when I was like, okay, I want to be something different. I wanted to like, what's something that I haven't really seen a lot of pups, at least with these type of hoods do. And so it's like, oh, it's like, well, I kind of want to be edgy. Let's do some piercings.
There you go.
So I started out with these. These are basically just binder rings, and I just like use nail polish to color them.
Okay.
And so I used to have like kind of like a large one as well as like the septum piercing, but I recently ordered some like just kind of like cheap knockoff ones from like Temu just to be kind of like I like to be on the cheap side of stuff. So or like either be crafty with it or be as cheap as possible with it to kind of get the look that I want. And
Yes.
then, like I said, I'll lean in again just to see it better. But I also now have gauges in here as well.
I love it.
So, so yeah, like I said, I just wanted to do something different with it and just kind of like feel free to be edgy and just want to be a bit creative with it.
So how long have you actually been a pup?
So actually, being a pup, I would say probably since about around 2017, 2018. At least that's when I got my hood. But as far as like being interested in the pup play, it's been more like probably since like 2015 about.
Okay, so you've been in it several years and everything, so you've seen a
Correct, yeah.
lot. So based on the time that you've been in it, what has been the most easiest part of being a pup or in the community, and what has been the most difficult?
For me, I think the easiest thing has been the sense of inclusion of it all,
Hmm.
where you have, like pups of various, nationalities, races, sizes, and it's like we're all kind of like one big happy family. And it's a really good space to have, at least as far as like if there is like a local or like local adjacent pup community to be like, hey, this is something that, I have questions about, whether it be like something personal, something on the kink side. Everyone's willing to help out one another. Like I said, just as kind of like one big happy family.
Hmm.
But I would say kind of like one of the more difficult things, at least for me, but then again, it's just also kind of my lifestyle where I tend to be a workaholic. So, and also it's also because like I had some like financial difficulties as well. So I don't really have time to exactly, go to all these pup events or
Hmm.
whatever, or um like for some, so the pup group that I'm in, they're based in Madison, but Kaukauna is probably maybe about 2 hours away. So it's like, oh, we're having a cookout here. We're going to this part. It's like I'm like 2 hours away, and it's like if
Yeah.
the event ends at like midnight or whatever, I still have 2 hour drive back, and it it's kind of the thing. It's like pup groups or the pup community is really good for, or at least what I've at least been seeing, or like what's been helping me is at least just simply just chatting online,
Hmm.
like kind of building connections and friendships through that. Because, like I said, for me, I'm not always able to meet out in person, whether
Right.
due to work schedule or health wise or etc. So,
Okay. Well, if there's something that you had the ability to change within the community, what do you think you would want to change?
give me 1 second
Sure.
here. Yeah, I have my notes through there. Yeah, I think I kind of like reiterated that something where um like I said, for me, I'm from small town, not really used to kind of like bigger cities or like even like pub events. Like I haven't even been to a local pride yet. Um but for me, actually there's a question that popped up in our local group, which is how do we connect with kind of like more of like the college age students or like kind of like the younger students to get into pup play. So I think kind of like there needs I would like to see that there needs to be a good avenue or at least a good introduction of what pup play is and how we can like interact, introduce new members.
Okay.
At least that's something that I would like to see. So something like this, I think, is really great.
Hmm.
Um, obviously everyone's on YouTube now, so it's something that everyone's gonna, kind of like, oh, what is pup play? So I
Yes.
think this is like a really good option to at least get a good introduction.
Okay, good, good. So what advice would you give someone that's just now starting to get into the pup play or is curious about getting into it?
I would say for me, it would be um, look to see if there's a local pup affiliated or pup and handler group in your area, um, or at least see if there's maybe like either like a citywide or statewide sort of like kink community. And if there's not, I would probably just say like just message other pups and be like, hey, kind of like something like this, where it's like, how did you get in? What exactly it is about? Like, like for me, I will always like answer whatever questions that people may have. I'd like to assist, any way that I can. So whether it be like, oh, I'm kind of thinking about it, it's like, okay, well, let's do a little bit of role play. Um, and just kind of see how things go from there. If it's something that kind of like turns you on or something that, made you comfortable, then yeah, you may be up for it. But obviously it's like, still feeling a bit unsure. It's like, okay, well, let's change it up a little bit and
Hmm.
just kind of
Okay,
like feel it around.
good, good. So what brings Pup Razor the most joy out of pup play? And do you have any specific toy that you like to play with?
So for me, I post a lot of kind of like the sexier content on like Twitter and stuff. So I kind of like, with the stuff that I do, I kind of like when I when I have like the pup stuff on, it's like almost kind of like empowering of some sort, where
Hmm.
it's like like I said, I really kind of lean into the being different side of things. So it's like, oh, it's a pup light. Oh, he has piercings. Oh, he has a big this, that, and the other.
Hmm.
And then I don't really have any like specific like favorite toys at all. It's kind of like more like sex toy stuff.
Okay.
Um, so I'm not sure if that's exactly appropriate in this situation, but
Well, I mean, we
but
can
yeah.
talk about it. We just can't really show it. So,
Okay. Yeah, so for me, I'm into like ball stretchers.
okay.
So I actually have one there, but like I said, we'll keep that separate. Um, but yeah, like kind of like ball stretchers, like I always get lots of compliments on that, like, oh, what does it do? And so I kind of like explain what it does.
Yeah.
And then also into poppers a lot as well. So
Okay.
I have a vast like drawer full collection that it's like I always want to add to it, but it's like, do I want to be spending that much?
Yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah. It's expensive. It can be.
Yeah, yes.
So what has been a pup done for you and your mental health?
For me, I've actually been getting more into the pup headspace lately because I was dealing with a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety. And for me, being a pup is like, there's those work days where it's like nothing's going right. I'm very stressed out. I don't want to talk. So it's like, I put on the pup mask and it's like, we're good, we're happy, we can do whatever we want. All that human drama, stress can just be dealt with later.
Yeah,
So it's allows for a very good safe space, both like physically, mentally, psychologically.
yeah, it's a great way to leave the adult lifestyle for a minute.
Right.
So, is there anything that you wish you had known before you got into pup play?
Uh, Funny enough, you actually kind of brought it up, but it's like how kind of like expensive everything gets. Like
Yes,
especially like if people like not just the hood wise, but like people that kind of go for like the hoods, the harnesses, the jock straps, and all like the tails and stuff. It's like for me, like I said, I like to go on the cheap end of stuffs, or at least don't really have a good enough income to like constantly buy new stuff. So it's like oh, now my like I wanted to get this, this, and this, and now all of a sudden it's like 400, $500. It's like, okay, so maybe let's do it piece by piece then and work on from there.
yes, and that's the way I have to do it. Is piece. I have my list and prioritize it, and then I order it, and I just go down the row until I get
Hmm.
everything that I want. But yeah, it gets
Yeah,
expensive.
yeah, because funny enough, I think my next major purchase is probably going to be either a new harness because my one is getting like all tattered and old, and or kind of like a upfoot like yours where it's like more so just the muzzle because I kind of have like a little bit longer hair at the moment, but also kind of like would like to have the hat with the ears as well. So
Yeah, I've tried a full hood here in Florida, and it's just too hot for me. So that's why I
right.
went with the muzzle. And the good thing is these change out, so I have many different colors depending on my mood at
Hmm.
the time. So
Right. And same here. Like I have like kind of like a full those full hoods as well. But my problem is it's like not sure if I'm just not used to it or just not used to that style, whatever. But I feel like it always kind of like digs in on my chin.
underneath here,
So
yeah,
it's kind of like so I'm like did that. And it's like I can't really talk with that. So
yeah. So what kind of hobbies do you have there in Wisconsin?
so for me, like I said, I'm more of a workaholic. So if I'm not working or sleeping, I'm more so into like all the video game type stuff. I'm on Xbox. I'd like to get into PC, but like I said, that's going to be kind of a save up for down the road type deal.
Right.
I'm into basically any sort of sport you can think of, whether it's like, football, soccer, or even like, pool or bowling or stuff like that.
Okay.
I am in like a bowling league. Not the greatest at it, but it's more so just for fun. Um, every once in a while I'll do some baking. Um, I think that's about it as far as I can think of. But yeah, like I said, I'm mainly at work anyways, so it's like Like work, go to bed, work, go to bed.
I hear you. So what about animals? You have any pets of your own?
I do actually. The reason I have the door closed is our 8-year-old pit bull boxer terrier mix called Angel. She absolutely loves her attention and will whine whenever she doesn't get any.
Oh, I hear,
She's
yep.
she's probably guarding the door at the moment. And then I also have a 5-year-old cat named Squeakers, and she is an absolute chonker. So
I'm familiar with that. I've got three cats of my own. So yes, I hear you. So you had mentioned earlier about the beta, omega, alpha. Do
Mhm.
you identify as one of those?
Primarily, I kind of see myself as more so like an alpha type, but I'm also still willing to like, depending on who I'm chatting with or like kind of what they identify as, I could switch it up to like a beta role. Not sure if I'd exactly go like full omega, but like I said, somewhere kind of in the spectrum of a switch or like alpha beta type thing.
Okay. All right. And you mentioned that you really don't have a lot of things going on in your location, but
Mm-hmm.
what kind of events do you have going on that is somewhere in your vicinity there in Wisconsin?
Like I said, for us, if I were to travel, there are like kind of like a lot of like either like pup or leather nights down in Madison, or I know Milwaukee's Pride is fairly large. There is a few, I believe there is a Pride in like the Green Bay area, which is actually kind of like a lot closer for me, but I'm a little bit skeptical as of late, only because this past, I think it's either like a Pride Alive sponsored thing or like just straight up Green Bay Pride. I forget exactly what it was called, but there was a lot of concern over a certain like it was like a drag show reading,
Yeah.
and so I think that was kind of the worry of like, oh, if people are very concerned over drag, how are they gonna like accept a pup in that sort of scenario? And since there's like not really many pups in this area, um, it's like, if I want to be like singled out, I have like really bad social anxiety as far as for like big crowds and being uncomfortable in said crowds,
Yeah.
where like I will like it gets to a point where I will like physically break down. It's like, okay, I need like a good either a friend there with me or like a really good support group to be like encourage me or whatever, because like I'm not gonna do that alone. So
Yeah, I hear you.
yeah. So yeah, I would like to go to like a pride event. Like I said, it's just like I said, it's more so the travel and getting good group together with me.
Okay. Uh, So if you could ask my next guest that I have on here a specific question, what would you want to ask them?
It's going to be kind of like a sillier one, but what would be or what is your comfort food? What is basically the food that, if you're ever stressed out, it'll always kind of like remind you of home or put you in a good space.
Okay. Well, your question came from Pup Link out of Atlanta, Georgia, and
Okay.
he wanted to know what are the qualities you look for in a pup that could be joining your pack?
So maybe I'm not necessarily the best person to ask, but like I said, I'm always free to give like at least my 2 cent shares worth. So if you're looking at a pup that's potentially joining a pack, I would say there on all parties there needs to be um, communication and consent.
Yes.
Always be like, okay, what are you kind of looking for in this pack? Um, what exactly are you into? What exactly are your limits? Do they kind of blend in with what you currently have? Um, Because my worry would be is if, say, like, if there's a new pup in the pack, oh, he's going to get all the attention, and that might leave some people out, and there might be jealousy. So as long as like everyone can gather together and be like, okay, like, you know, as long as we promise, to, share love with each other, treat it equally, respect everyone's, roles, everyone's, what they're into, what their limits are. I think that's what I would be looking for.
Okay. Well, really last question. It's not really a question, but if other pups wanted to reach out to you, how could they reach you?
Look, sorry, I guess my dog is barking at something, so I'll make it quick. Just basically look for Pup Razor on anything. Twitter, Telegram, Discord. Like I said, if you wanted to add me on Xbox, I'd prefer just to leave that in like a private message with me on those platforms.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. So any last words from Pup Razor before we jump off of here?
I would say, you know, if you're ever feeling like, you wanted to spice things up, get creative. Like I said, I do piercings. I know a lot of other pups maybe, have like tattoos or whatever. But yeah, I would say like get creative. Something that I've also like weirdly been like wanting to weirdly see is like maybe pups doing drag.
Oh,
Like I said, just be different, be open with it, accept the weirdness, and you'll get all the love and support that you need.
all right. Well, hey, it's been a pleasure getting to sit here and talk to you for a little bit. Hope you get to
Uh,
enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk soon.
Will do. Yep, thank you.